What is up, you guys? I want to start off by reading a little bit of this book because it really relates to what I'm about to talk about. It's actually a psychic sense. It's one that I've had developed since in high school. I remember this. And so I just want to explain what clairaudience is. Our auditory system. It's located above our ears, and it's the ability to hear sounds or speech that is not perceived by the everyday sense of hearing. And it is the last of the psychic senses to develop. This is the one that enables us to hear our guardian angels as well as other auditory messages. An example of this would be hearing your guardian angel speak to you in a tone of warning, saying, "Stop, don't cross the street." And these voices are not always heard with our ears, but can be heard in thought form or even as a vibration all around us. And so I believe that this really goes hand in hand with being able to have faith in situations that don't always seem like they're working out in the most desirable way. Recently, I was praying to be more connected to Creator because I find that when I start to lose my connection to Creator, the only thing that I want to do is get it back. And I want to be able to feel the presence of God, and I want to be able to just know that He's there. And I find sometimes, especially when I'm on a winning streak, that I don't feel Him there as much. And so I manifested kind of this weird situation for myself, which was just so odd. Like, I misperceived a situation. There was so much miscommunication in the situation, and I thought that I was like in a bad situation. But really, the whole bad situation that I made up was all in my mind, and it didn't even exist. But when I was in this bad situation that was a less than desirable life experience for me, I used my clairaudience to always have faith. So for me, there's never a point in my life where I thought, you know what, this isn't going to work, or, you know, I'm not going to be able to get where I'm headed. And sometimes, you know, just to be honest, of course there's times where you think like this isn't going to work, but it's very much on a physical level. So, I don't know how to explain this in a way. Okay, let me just be straight up. In my past relationship, there was no doubt in my mind that I was like, you know what, this isn't going to work, but I'm just going to keep on trying because maybe I'm completely wrong. I got myself into a situation recently where I was like, oh my gosh, this situation that I'm in isn't going to work out in the most desirable ways because of XYZ. And I just want to start by telling you that when you watch me manifest things, I want you to know that in pretty much every positive manifestation that you've seen me attract in my life, I had a moment where it kind of, in my mind, came to a screeching halt where I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna figure this out. Even when I got my dog, like the first day that I got my dog, I was thinking to myself, I have completely made a decision that might have just screwed up my life because I don't like this dog and whatever. Anyways, like I get myself into situations sometimes like this. But what I really enjoy about being in situations like this, and this might sound twisted, but my connection to Creator is so amplified because of my clairaudience. And so I know that everything is always going to work out. And at the end of the day, the things that you need to think about, if I could speak them to you instead of you having to develop this psychic sense, and everyone has access to it. It's just how much you use it. It's kind of like everyone has a tricep, but like how big yours are depends on how much you use them. So everyone has this psychic ability, but depending on how much you actually utilize it is going to depend on how strong it is for you. And for me, in times where I feel like there's a dire need to connect to Creator, I have this so purely, and it supports me just so thoroughly well. And for instance, like let's say I'm going through a loss. Instead of looking at the loss and looking at the lack and looking at what's missing in my life, I'm grateful because I had something that was so valuable that I'm able to feel bad when I lose it. If I'm like going through a situation where I think that things aren't going to work out in the way that I believe, I remind myself that Creator can see 99.9% more than me of the universe, and I can barely see 0.001%. everything that you see, if you look around you, that's like your radar screen. Imagine you're driving like a plane. It's your radar screen, and it's only like a few inches in diameter. So you can only see so much around you. But Creator knows the whole universe. And so sometimes when I feel like I'm having a less than desirable life experience and I don't understand quite how this is going to work out, I never question where I'm going. I always have faith in that because I know that I maintain my connection with Creator. And I believe that by maintaining your connection with Creator and continuing to put energy, time, and focus and your attention towards that, that it's something that's always going to grow into your life. And when you do that, then you have a connection in your life that's always growing and evolving. And I believe that that is the single thing that you need in your life. And of course, other things will manifest themselves after. But for me, this was really a foundational aspect that I needed to build that connection with Creator. And once I did that, everything else started to manifest in my life. Because if you're having money problems, Creator controls money. If you're having relationship problems, Creator controls who is in your life. He controls people, places, and events. He controls everything. And so if you're having these physical issues that you're experiencing with maybe your health or maybe your family or whatever the case may be, your solution is not to focus on the surface level thing, because it's similarly to when people are going to the gym and they're working out and they're dieting, but they spend more time looking in the mirror at themselves, looking for the result, rather than dialing in on their program, focusing more on their nutrition and making sure that they're doing the right things that they need to do to actually see those results when they step foot in front of the mirror. And so it's the same thing. You can't be looking at the results and looking at your family life, looking at your career, looking at your bank account without first turning your attention to Creator, and then He'll manifest absolute miracles into your life. And what I like to do after my manifestations is manifest that it's always in the highest and best ways. In that way, you create more than desirable life experiences for the most part. And when you find yourself in those ruts, how you keep faith is by continuing to communicate with Creator. And I believe that there's a lot of people that I put into my life that have really blessed me with being able to speak the words of wisdom that I needed to hear at that point because I couldn't hear them. And I just want you to know that you're always, always, always connected to Creator. And some ways that I really like to amplify that feeling of that connection is by having time alone, doing yoga, doing meditation, working out, and it being like a really, really strenuous workout, running for a long period of time and overcoming those mental barriers after, like one after the other. And then after that, your connection to Creator is way more amplified. Doing a cold plunge, fasting, anything where you're going to put your body and your mind in a level of distress will connect you more to Creator. Because I heard this quote once and it really stuck with me, and it is: the closer that you get to dying, the more that you feel alive. So the more that you push yourself, and I don't mean anything weird about that, I don't mean like try overdosing on drugs, not what I mean, okay? What I mean is doing constructive things that push you to your limits. That's going to be connecting you way more to Creator, and then you're going to be able to get those little signs and messages. I really hope that this helps. If you have any questions, you can DM me or let me know in the comments.